I'm Tom Akello, and today I will talk about the topic of sexual and emotional affairs and the impact on marriage and family. Emotional affairs occurs when one partner becomes emotionally attached to someone else. A person might spend hours talking on the phone or online to someone other than their partner. It lacks sexual intimacy but has intense or enduring emotional intimacy. It is a highly compelling love affair that does not involve touching but that controls the emotional and sexual feelings of the participating spouse, resulting in avoidance of sex. Typically, an affair is considered a betrayal of trust. It has the ability to cause significant distress in relationships, and there are many reasons why people cheat on their partners. It's important to point out upfront that a partner doesn't cause their spouse to cheat. Studies with large representative US samples across all age cohorts have found that approximately 25% of men and 15% of women have participated in sex outside their couple relationships. Infidelity also is the most frequently cited reason for why marriages end, and those couples who experience an affair are twice as likely to divorce. These are just examples of extramarital affairs. There are several risks for infidelity, and they may include lack of communication, emotional and physical disconnect, low compatibility, domestic violence and emotional abuse, financial pressure, lack of respect, addiction to substance abuse or gambling, uh, sex addiction, previous cheating, and child issues. Reasons for infidelity may include unhappiness, dissatisfaction, feeling unappreciated, lack of commitment, boredom, body image, revenge, the internet, pornography, opportunity, poor personal boundaries, among others. In the Old Testament, we see that in Deuteronomy 22 verse 22, if a man is found sleeping with another man's wife, both the man who slept with her and the woman must die. You must purge the evil from Israel. Basically, this was to help people from being involved in extramarital affairs. There are also later on people are being encouraged to stop cheating, to stop lying, as ways of helping people to overcome affairs. Approximately 30% of couples begin marital therapy because of the effects of an affair. In a survey, practicing couple therapists ranked extramarital affairs as the third most difficult problem to treat, following lack of loving feelings and alcoholism in a marriage. It is believed that conceptualizing affairs as a form of interpersonal trauma helps therapists to understand the cognitive, behavioral, and emotional disequilibrium that often follows an affair, and to formulate more helpful treatments for these difficult therapy cases. Therapies based on trauma theory attempt to restructure clients' schemas about how the world operates and to help them regain a sense of control over their lives. Forgiveness interventions focuses on helping individuals explore the factors surrounding the affair so that they develop a greater misunderstanding of why the betrayal took place. Cognitive behavioral couple therapy builds on skills based interventions of behavioral couple therapy by targeting couple communication and behavior exchange and directing both partners' attention to the explanations they construct for each other's behavior, as well as to expectations and standards they hold relative to their own relationship and relationships in general. Insight-oriented couple therapy is an approach that is designed specifically to help partners have a greater understanding of how the past affects current relationship struggles. Systemic perspective. Women see emotional affairs as infidelity or betrayal. Decrease in intimacy, relational sex also have been experienced. More than 50% of infidelity cases end up in divorce, hence destroying families. An unspoken cultural norm is that a real man does not say no to sex. In some cultures, it is expected that the man will have a big family with a little family on the side, or at least a mistress, or indulge in paid sex. The cultural norms and sanctions for female extramarital affairs are different. In examining cultural norms, it is crucial to explore stated norms versus behavioral norms, gender differences, and socio-economic and class differences. In some African countries, polygamy is the order of the day and even legalized by the government. The great majority of people, both married and unmarried, strongly support marital fidelity. However, the majority of people have fantasies and feelings about engaging in extramarital affairs, and for a significant number of people, this involves actual sexual behavior. Certain people having affairs often inhabit a kind of parallel universe with its own laws and moral logic. In some cases, they are able to rationalize their transgressions with the argument that what their partners don't know won't hurt them. In The Happy Family, Dr. John Levy and Dr. Ruth Monroe, a man who is genuinely fond of his wife, thoroughly responsible as a husband, and well integrated as a personality, can handle hidden deviations from monogamy adequately. A French film and recording star noted that and spoke in 1973 interview that I think a man can have 2, maybe 3 affairs while he is married, but 3 is the absolute maximum. After that, you are cheating. Some people are more tolerant of infidelity behavior. These views are generally linked to the overall liberal nature of the society. For instance, Danish society is viewed as more liberal than many other cultures, and as such have correlating liberal views on fidelity and extramarital affairs. Societies that are legally more liberal against extramarital affairs judge less harshly upon sexual infidelity because it is distinct from emotional infidelity. In Danish society, having sex does not necessarily imply a deep emotional attachment. As a result, infidelity does not carry such a severe negative connotation. It has been hypothesized that heterosexual men have developed an innate psychological mechanism that responds to the threat of sexual infidelity more than emotional infidelity, and vice versa for heterosexual women. While for females, emotional infidelity is more worrisome because they could lose the parental investment to another woman's offspring, therefore affecting their chances of survival. Protestants and Catholics do not view infidelity with equal severity. The conception of marriage is also markedly different. While in Roman Catholicism, Marriage is seen as an indissoluble sacramental bond and does not permit divorce even in cases of infidelity. Most Protestant denominations allow for divorce and remarriage for infidelity or other reasons. Some research has also suggested that being African American has a positive correlation of infidelity, even when education attainment is controlled for. Infidelity is the biggest fear in most romantic relationships and even friendships. No individual wants to be cheated on and replaced by another. This act usually makes people feel unwanted, jealous, angry, and incompetent. Affective emotions and response are a primary factor in the initial stages of infidelity on both sides. An affective response immediately indicates to an individual whether something is pleasant or unpleasant and whether they decide to approach or avoid a situation. Affective emotions such as include unwanted, jealousy, anger, and incompetence. The more distress the victim feels, the more likely the individual is to take part in unhealthy acts, risky behavior, and the more the victim blamed themselves, the more the distress they experienced. Current practices. Treatment protocols in counseling and psychological fields. Based on Gurma et al. 2015, the first stage of the treatment encompasses assessment and management of the affair's impact. Here, the therapist should assess the basic aspects of couple functioning and their history. For example, are they satisfied? How is their communication skills, commitment level? Then assess the couple's relationship among themselves. Then assess the extradyadic relationship. The therapist should determine when the affair first began, what was the nature of the affair, was it primarily emotional, primarily sexual, or both, and ask many questions. Assess individual strengths and vulnerabilities. Assess outside stressors and resources. It's very important to know what are threats to the relationship and what are the strengths to build on. Have goal setting from the beginning. Know whether the couple wants to continue with the relationship, with the therapy or not, and what is going on. Contain ongoing damage from the affair and help the couple to regain some equilibrium. Help teach them problem-solving techniques as well as damage control techniques so that by themselves they can be able to start solving their problems. Teach them timeout and venting techniques so that they can know if things are getting out of hand or someone is getting angry or something like that, they can take timeouts, pause, and be able to come back later and revisit. Self-care techniques is also very important so that they can deal with the depression and anxiety which sometimes set in because of all the anger and the venting that has been coming in. Emotional expressiveness skills and discussion of the impact of the affair. Coping with flashbacks is also very important to help them understand the flashback phenomenon and then develop a plan to cope with them. Explore factors contributing to the affair, cognitive restructuring of problematic issues in the relationship, and then have a summary and formulation of the affair. Integrate information obtained in previous sessions. Help the couple to reach an informed decision about how to move on from the affair. Then you can now introduce discussion of forgiveness. At this point, hopefully the affected individual is ready to listen and is able to forgive. Exploration of the factors affecting the partners' discussion to continue their relationship. And here are the references.